Okay, so, fuck. I'll start over. Fuck. So, let's start here. Dropbox is a service that lets you share files. TOS is TempleOS, and then TAD is so we are going to remove Diana, and then share now. You should be it should send you an email with an invitation and a link, and then when you install Dropbox, it installs a driver, and what happens is this has my files that it in my home directory. There's a drop. It will make a Dropbox folder, and then whatever I put in here will appear on your computer eventually. It uploads them and downloads them and stuff. So the setup of my system is I have Ubuntu Linux, and in my home directory I put all my files in the TAD folder, Terry Andrew Davis, and it has my TAD folder's about 1.5 gig, and whenever I do a backup I just copy that onto, and this script right here will copy all my files into the Dropbox. So all my scripts are in the TAD bin directory, and backup removes my TAD folder and then creates a new TAD folder in the Dropbox directory. So in the TAD folder there's a bin directory. I suggest you, when you get Dropbox installed, go into here and take the TAD directory and copy it into your root, not your root, your home directory, so that you have a TAD folder, and put TAD bin in your path. These are all my scripts, and there's a couple files that are important. So I can't believe I turned off the video. Okay, so in the bin directory, these are for QEMU, which is QEMU is this virtualizer. So I have scripts for I have a script that will install QEMU. This one actually goes and gets the package, and then it creates a QEMU copy on write. That's what the COW stands for. So what is this? What it does is, in your home directory, it puts a QEMU disk. Looks like it's about 1.1 gig. So this is the hard disk for the QEMU. You know what? Why don't we just forget about VMware until you get a little bit further? I think that's a good idea. Okay, so what you want to do, you want to go to, that'll save my lecture. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so you're gonna get a Dropbox invitation. You're gonna install it. This is a service. It's free unless you you can buy a professional upgrade. I might do that, but so you're gonna install a driver, and then it's going to make a Dropbox folder on your in your home. I think it works with Windows. I'm pretty sure. Obviously it does. I think it does. Now, if you don't have Ubuntu, we could have a problem. Well, not a big problem. VMware. I used to use VMware in Linux, in Windows. So anyway, so what you want to do is go into TOS, copy TAD into your home directory, and then go into TAD and put TAD bin in your path. And then we can start, then you're going to look at these scripts for QEMU. So the install script gets QEMU from the package manager or whatever the hell that is. It creates the disk image and it makes a mount point for what you want to do is, in order to get files in and out of QEMU, you have to mount them. So it's a complete file system inside of QEMU, and when you mount it, the files will appear in this mount QEMU disk directory. They're not there right now. So it creates this mount point directory that's empty, and then it looks like it runs that. We can get rid of that anyway. I should get rid of that. Fuck yeah, I should. Let's get rid of that. Damn it. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So some of my, well, anyway, so what you're going to run, unfortunately, get rid of that. We want to get rid of that don't run that new. I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to save it. So after you install, it ran the new, but that's not the one you want to do. You want to do staff new. So what is this? This, once you have it installed, this starts up QEMU. This is the hard disk. The hard disk is that's in your home directory at that 1.1 gig. You want to change it to however many cores you have. I have 8 cores. This is 4 gig. Whatever you want to give it. You need to give it at least 512, or not, this is 4 gig. You need to give it at least 512 meg. PC speaker, CD-ROM. So this is the CD-ROM. An ISO file is like a fake CD-ROM, and so it's in TAD, TempleOS staff, and then this tells it to boot the CD-ROM. So it's going to boot the CD-ROM the first time. So that TAD staff is that's this file right here. So you have to put it in your home. You have to put, it has to be in that location. So this is the this is what I use. This has all my files and stuff, and the company files or something. If you're an employee, this is what you use. So that's what you do. And it's going to ask you for anyway. It'll ask you enter your. It'll ask if it's TAD or DLC, and you want DLC. It already is set up for DLC. So it's real easy. Okay, so once you so what you want to, there's a file here for mounting. This will mount the copy on write at the mount point MNT QEMU disk, and it will mount the second partition. Okay, so so this is what you use to run it. Well, hold on a second. Why don't we get rid of that? Let's get rid of that. That's just dangerous. Okay. Save. Okay. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna give you new files. Okay, so so when we run mount, when we run mount, then now if you go to the mount QEMU disk, then all the TempleOS files will be here, and you can copy them in and out. So you have to. It has to be turned off. Don't do that when it's on. So then you run unmount. So I have I have a script for copying in and out. So I wasn't able to get sudo to work as I wanted. So I did sudo on the whole thing. I'm not a Linux expert, so I made this. This is just a two-part command. The first part causes the second to be 100% sudo. So all of this is sudo. So basically, there's two directories, my website and my home directory. My website is, I have a complete copy of my TempleOS files, all my files. There's an exact copy on my website. And to get it to my website, first I copy it out to Linux into the website directory, and then I upload it, synchronize it. So TAD website is the website. Now I also copy my home directory in and out. That's the only directory I copy. So the TAD home directory is my TempleOS home directory. So what does this do? Basically, this copies it copies the home directory and the web directory out from QEMU. It also does a couple miscellaneous things like, so first it has to mount the disk. When it's done, it unmounts. And then I started getting crazy with some, why don't I get rid of that? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. TOSC. Let's get rid of that. So, save. I'm going to get rid of it on all of them. So I have separate scripts for VirtualBox. VirtualBox, the graphics don't work. And then VMware. VMware costs $250, and it's more professional. It's but the sound doesn't sound very good. VMware, the disk is about 4 times faster. That's why I use it. And also the timing is a little more, the timing is better. QEMU gets a little bit weird timing sometimes. Anyway, so what I'm going to do right now is update those scripts so that you don't have the old scripts. Let's do it. So, as a matter of fact, there's 2 partitions, a C and a D, and C is the master, the gold master, and what you do is you copy onto D, and then you turn it off, and then you mount the D, and you transfer in and out, and then you unmount it, then you turn it on, and then you copy from the D onto the C. And that way, if the D drive gets messed up during the transfers, your C is still okay, and you can reformat and copy. I have a lot of tools for copy drive. This will copy. You can copy C onto D or D onto prompt and copy drive. This will say what drive, and then you say C, and then what drive, and you say D, prompt and copy drive. So on the menu, you can find copy drive. So it's going to ask, I'm going to abort, Control Alt C. Fuck. Control Alt C. Damn it. Oh, Control Alt C. Okay, I aborted. So I just modified my Linux scripts. I'm going to so this copies the files in. Now you have to wait for that to disappear. Now I started up, so I'm gonna copy. So I put the scripts on the distribution for everybody, as a matter of fact, pre-backup. I think I do. No, I put it on the supplemental disk, but it's gonna end up on, it'll end up on your disk. It goes on a supplemental disk. I don't know if I do all of them. Okay, so now I need to run my backup. So well, anyway. So this does a lot more than, this takes about, what does this take? 2 minutes and 20, 2 minutes, 220, fuck, I don't remember. It's like 200 seconds. It's gonna take a while. And then I'm gonna copy them out, and then I'll put them into the Dropbox so that you can get them. And you can, in your Dropbox, you will find I think it works in Windows. Anyway, fuck, I can't believe it. So let's go talk to God. I hate when that happens. So there's a file called so in the so when you get the Dropbox in the TOS, in the TAD, in the bin directory, there's a file called make TOSC, and TOSC, look at it, look at this file carefully. TOSC, what does this do? TOSC is an uncompressed tool for Linux, and it copies this make copies it from. I keep an image of it in my website directory. It copies it into the bin, then it compiles it, and then it you know what, I could probably save a step, couldn't I? Don't you say -O? I was lazy. Oh well. Anyway, so what that's for is if you look at the let's say you look at what's going on here. If you look in the TAD directory, what the fuck? It's not updating very well. In the TAD directory, this is the home directory from the from TempleOS. So these files are stored with .z. That means they're compressed. They're individually compressed. So if you open them, you can't open them in Linux. So what you do is I'm going to go to TAD bin. Oh fuck. I'm going to go to TAD home. So this, I'm going to copy, let's say, oh, okay, I'll do personal notes. I'm going to copy them to my temp. Okay, now we changed. So I just did this a little bit earlier today. Okay. So this is the compressed one. Now if you say, now if you put my files in the, did it finish? It finished. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so TOSC, this is, you want to do minus ASCII, just trust me. And then if we say personal notes .dd.z, so that just uncompressed that file. So what is it? Let's look at that personal notes file in TempleOS. So in TempleOS, the home personal notes file, this is my to-do list. This is my to-do list. It has that purple to-do centered. Then it has these links. File links and stuff. So let's see what it looks like in Linux. After I uncompressed it, it got rid of the Z, and this is what it looks like. So these can have graphics. So the first portion of the file is text, and then the next portion is graphics. So these are called $doc because they're dollars. Instead of HTML with the angle brackets, it's a $sign for start and stop. This stands for word wrap. This stands for foreground 5, which is purple. This is centered text tag to do. Foreground default, which is changes it back to whatever it normally is. This is a link, and then this is a file. This is a different kind of link with a that has a tag and then a file that's different. So maybe we should hold off, but I'll teach you. Eventually you need to, well, I guess, learn how those in the if you press F1, you can learn about all the different link types here. If you want to open, okay, so let's just suppose this is in doc, and then if you hit Control T, then it's plain text. This is plain text. So as it turns out, if you want to open a file in plain text, you use P. If you want to open it with doc, you use F. And anyway, so there's TOSC will uncompress, but it will not compress. So it's why don't I learn about GCC? Don't you say -o output file? Why don't I do that? Why am I such a pussy? Okay, let's see. Die. Quit. Okay. So does the -O go after? That's weird. -O. Let's see if that works. So save that. Now we go to the command line, cd tad, cd bin, ls, and we go rm TOSC. Then we do make TOSC. Seemed to work. It did. Okay, that seems to work. Let's see if it works. You want to test it? It works. Of course it works. So let's go to home. What else we got? How about the distro? So copy TOS distro star. Okay, TOSC minus ASCII. TOS distro. Okay, fail. What are you talking about? HC. Okay, now if we look at that file, so this is the this file has all my scripts for making my distributions and making my website. So what this does is if I want to copy my C drive onto my D drive, then I run TOS prompt and copy. It get drive. Well, anyway, it gets a character. It prints. TOS is a string with my with the available hard drives numbers. So it's a string with CD, and it gets a character. And this gets a character, this gets a character, then it copies from one to the other. Does copy drive. Copy drive formats the destination as FAT32. Then it makes C:/D:/ copy tree C:/D:/ clear, then it changes back, then it changes to the destination, and then this is tricky. This recompiles the binary files. Okay, so this reinstalls the kernel basically. So TOS boot install. So this does a make all. Basically, it compiles the kernel and compiler, and you have to enter the Okay, well, let's not talk about that yet. Let's go slowly. Okay, so I did that. Now I do this. So I voted for Trump. I'm not a felon. So, so I'm a little bit older than this stage. I think the guys that are you're such a dork. I don't think she quite. What? Okay. Well, I can't feel too smug. Something like that. So there is something this. So I guess you got to do something. No, there's no ring. Okay. Where was I? But inside here, I'm a romantic, so so inside Dropbox, in the home directory, there's a budget file. So on the menu, budget. I bought Satan my computer back in. It crashes. Where's Satan? Satan. Right there. Satan my computer. Anyway, so So, think that's what you want. When. Okay, let's talk to God. Okay, hold on a second. So after you upload, you have to, so it's good to check the time. Okay, first, this is here. Apparently I already entered my password, so it's, anyway, manage, file manager. So you can upload files from your, you could upload your blog if you go to the right place. It's kind of, it's buried. It's web home, web DLC. And so you would say upload, and then you would select dailyblog.html. Hey, it doesn't have a direct. That's weird. Okay. So when it's time for me to do the files, oh, let's see. So everything goes into the web. Web is the that's the root of my TempleOS files, and these ISO files, I synchronize the web directory, and it places these ISOs in there, and then I copy them up, and that's what makes it live. They're not live until I copy it up. And now these are the ones. I'm checking the time. 21. Yeah, it looks right. So the reason I call them live is because if you go to download and you click these links, that's where it is. So this has some instructions for installing. Here's the scripts that I just showed you. Let's see if I just updated them. So I got rid of, yeah, it's updated. Okay. So so again, in the tad bin directory are these scripts. So first of all, you're going to want to run staff new, and that's going to install, that's going to boot QEMU. It's going to boot, this boots the CD-ROM, and this is the file for the CD-ROM, which is tad. Okay. And then first you do the install, which downloads the package, creates the copy on write, and it creates a mount directory. After you install, then you do the staff new, and this installs from the ISO, staff ISO. And then for normal operation, you run EMU. This is the normal operation. You have to be sure to change the memory. This is probably what you want. I imagine you have more than 4 gig. And here's the number of cores. You might not have 8 cores. You need 512 as a minimum. And I could teach you about VMware. it's a lot faster. The disc is a lot faster. The sound is not good, but the timing's a little better. Like for example, if you play a I can make a video with good timing that I upload for songs. In here, the timing's not quite right, and I can't make a video. Even though that sounds like shit, when I export the waveform, it sounds perfect. This sounds like crap. The notes are all kind of the speed. It speeds up and speeds down. It's kind of it really bothers me. Anyway. Fuck. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. So shut that down. So if you want to copy the files out to Linux, you do this. No, it does not do that. So I guess we talk to God. Talk to God. Let's do some miracles. Yeah, my bird. The bird, I used to have two birds. They seem to eat a lot more. This one doesn't seem to eat very much. I don't know. Weird. According to the Kabbalah, the thoroughgoing Orthodox Jew has his hands full on Erev Shabbat, i.e. Friday. He cannot here go over the entire proceeding prescribed, but we will briefly touch upon its salient features in the order as we find them. After having prepared himself for immersion, as above described, he is to turn his face and bow first toward the west and then toward the east, repeating a certain formula, and then dip himself under the water. This over, he is to turn again east and west and repeat a different formula, and a while meditating on certain given letters of certain mystical divine names and other known words and their respective numerical values, he is to dip a second time under the water, then turn and bowing again west and east, repeating the while a different formula. He proceeds to meditate on different letters of the divine names and dip the third and last time, as dipping 14 times as the exception and not the rule. No further directions are given about the matter except a few additional formulae. Okay, so this copies the website directory and the home directory out from VMware after it's been mounted to it copies them out into the home TAD, and it also I guess it relocates the the staff version. So it copies the home directory into TAD, and it copies the web directory into my www.web. These are just the index file copied into the root with an alias. And this is kind of tricky. It moves the staff version into the, so I have a special place for my main ISO file, and that's right here, and that's where it looks when it when you install staff. It gets it from there. Anyway. So I could keep talking, but so I'm not tired. What if I went to sleep? Maybe there's a veritasium. Okay, I guess I keep talking. Okay, well, so in today's lecture, if you hit F1 and you go down to link types, so if you say edit and then you say F colon and then haystack file name needle string, and we're going to enter a file name. Let's search my personal notes.db.z, comma, and then we're going to search for a string. How about what Gadwa? I don't know if it's going to work. There. So it opened the file and located the string Gadwa. Now if I say PF, first of all, look at this real carefully. You see how it's purple and blue? Now if I say PF, now if you hit T for toggle text, so this opens it in plain text. So what about MN? This is man page. Man page. What about that? Let's go there. Doc entry link. So this will search the symbol table for that symbol and go to the source code. What about LK file? Now we're on LK file. So you can so these links happen in a couple places. So if you hit Control T, commands are bracketed with $signs. This is a prompt. So I think this kicks the cursor past and it turns it green, I think, or something. I don't know. You don't see that very often. That's not in, you don't have a prompt in documents very often. So anyway, let's go. So let's say you're working on your blog. So you go to web. Well, you're gonna hit the blog, and it's gonna. There's if you hit Alt A brings up autocomplete. Alt A brings up autocomplete. Shift is like the opposite. So Alt Shift A turns off autocomplete. So Alt A is autocomplete. Alt Shift A is the opposite. So this will list keys if you hold. The keys are accessed with Control, Shift, and Alt. So if you want some help remembering, like hold down Alt, and then it'll show you all the Alt keys. If you hold down Alt Shift, let's take a look. For example, Alt Shift A is autocomplete off. You can actually click on these links, and it brings you to. This is the handler for the key. The way it got here was from the handler. The handler set the location here when it did kind of a probe, and it found the location. Anyway, so if you hit Control. Okay, so these are the keys. Control Shift, and believe it or not, there's Control Alt. Okay, so let's just go over the keys here. Control is the these are the the editor. What would you call these? These are first-class citizens. The Control keys are first-class citizens. The Alt keys are user-defined, so you're supposed to in your plugins file, you're supposed to define the Alt keys, and they already come with some predefined, so it's kind of cheating that they're not all. They're probably going to be standard. But in theory, you can change all those Alt keys. Some of the most useful one is maximize, Alt M, and then there's anyway. I kept Control Alt T as a terminal. That's good. Alt V is vertical tile. Alt H, horizontal tile. Control Alt N is the next. Alt M, maximize. Anyway, so if you're blogging, F6 and F7 are. So let's get a quote from God, for example. So Alt F7. And we're going to get a hot bits, kosher hot bits. And oh, by the way, escape is how you do a save and exit, and shift escape is how you do abort. So a normal exit is like a save and exit is escape. And an abort is shift escape. So anyway, so we're going to hot bits. Edit. This will paste. I don't think QEMU has any clipboard support. Rabbi Joshua of Saknin said, in the name of Rabbi Levi, the Lord considered from what part of the man he should form woman, not from the head, lest she should be proud, not from the eyes, lest she should to see everything, not from the mouth, lest she might be talkative, nor from the ear, lest she should wish to hear everything, nor from the heart, lest she should be jealous, nor from the hand, lest she should wish to find out everything, nor from the feet, in order that she might not be wanderer, only from the most hidden place that is covered even when the man is naked, namely the rib. The scholars of Rabbi Simon ben Joshua once asked him, why did not the Lord give to Israel enough manna to suffice them for a year at one time instead of meting it out daily? The rabbi replied, I will answer ye with a parable. There was once a king who had a son to whom he gave a certain yearly allowance, paying the entire sum for his year's support on one appointed day. It soon happened that this day on Well, Rabbi, why don't we ask God? Did you think of that? But you have to entertain him. If you want a decent answer, you have to do a decent offering. When you pick a greeting card, that is 1 unit of love effort. And God's response is based on how many units of love you offered. So a candle is a unit of light or luminescence. I will define picking a greeting card as a unit of love effort. Shit. Is Diana awake? No. Oh, you know what it's gonna do? I'll tell you what it's gonna do. Watch this. I didn't do it, did I? No, I didn't do it. Holy shit, she's awake. You want to interview me? Hey, that's cool.
He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar, and make my speech nothing worth? Then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, Dominion and fear are with him, and he maketh peace in his high places. Is there any number of his armies, and upon whom doth not his priest shall not eat of anything that is dead of itself, or torn, whether it be fowl or beast. Moreover, when ye shall divide by lot the land for inheritance, ye shall offer an oblation unto the Lord, an holy portion of the land. The length shall be the length of 25,000 reeds, and the breadth shall be 10,000. This shall be holy in all the borders thereof round about. Of this there shall be for the sanctuary 500 in length, 500 in breadth, square round about, 50 cubits round about for the suburb thereof. And of this measure shalt thou measure the length. Jerusalem was destroyed because the instruction of the young was neglected. He who instructs a child is as if he had created it. The teachers are the guardians of the state. Learn first and philosophize afterward. To what may he be compared who teaches a child? To one who writes on a clean paper. And to what may he be compared who teaches an old man? To one who writes on blotted paper. Be eager to acquire knowledge. It does not come to thee by inheritance. 4 dispositions are found among those who sit for instruction before the wise, and they may be respectively compared to a sponge, a funnel, a strainer, and a sieve. The sponge imbibes all. The funnel receives at one end and discharges to the other. The strainer suffers the wine to pass through, but retains the lees, and the sieve recovers the bran. But
of course we're still blowing each other up. But remember, in space, no one can hear you scream. That's how scientifically inaccurate that space banter is. Motion stays in motion when acted upon by an external force. So that means if I'm moving, I'll keep moving in the same direction even with my engines off. Real space fighters would probably engage their engines for short bursts, speed up or slow down, or maneuver. But how would I maneuver? Use the force. Literally. Oh, people are moving. Is that you? Let go, Joe. Ask yourself, does any of this actually make any sense? Spaceship in motion has momentum, so it's moving a different vector. A force has to be applied to counteract that momentum. In today's spaceships use steerable thrust to orient the ship in two dimensions. But maneuvering thrusters would be vulnerable to enemies. What if they use internal gyroscopes near the center of mass? Then they could harness angular momentum to orient the spacecraft and apply bursts of thrust to accelerate. This sounds familiar. What about weapons? In space with no atmosphere to create shockwaves, explosive weapons are kind of useless. And why even need to say it? No sound in space. Nukes! They could still deliver blasts of radiation energy. Their intensity would decrease with the blast radius, but within a few hundred meters of the spaceship, they could spontaneously melt a metal liquid. Neutron radiation could pass straight through spacecraft. Radioactively cook any human inside like stormtrooper hot pockets. Missiles and guided weapons suffer the same utility limitations as we talked about before. Lasers! Real energy lasers would be invisible since they operate outside the visible range of light. But remember, over long distances, lasers are difficult to focus. It's true. Lunar range-finding lasers that are fired from Earth at reflectors on the moon are over 6 kilometers wide by the time they hit. But don't forget energy. A weapon like the Death Star is equivalent to all the energy released by the sun in an entire week. There's no atmosphere to dissipate all that heat. Honestly, if you want to destroy a planet, you're probably better off throwing an asteroid at it or something. Anything moving fast makes spaceship air boom. A different battlefield calls for different tactics. In space, there is a great deal of space. Close-in broadside naval battles look cool, but not gonna happen. In space combat, the speed of light could be our greatest advantage. It's true. You know, if Earth's orbital defenses are engaged in battle with the rebel Europa colony, each side will be firing in each other's shadow. Because at the time it takes light to travel, they'd only know what the other was up to like half an hour earlier. In some ways, realistic space combat would be closer to the 18th century than it is today. You imagine days-long communication delays and battles that are fought with cannons and musket balls, except it's happening in space. It makes you wonder, why is so much of what we see so wrong? Like Jar Jar Binks! Right. It's George Lucas's fault. The ship-on-ship combat of Star Wars, which has got to be the most influential space combat fiction out there, was actually based on World War II dogfighting, like Creepy Attack on the Death Star, based on a British World War II film. Most space battles haven't reached past his prototype. Why is the inevitable outcome of human space exploration war? I think that says more about our own fears and history than anything else. A lot of 20th century science fiction was warnings about 20th century wars. In reality, space combat is just so impossibly difficult and deadly and impractical that it's worth wondering if we'll ever actually see it come to pass. I say we take a nod from there. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his grip around this globe of ours. And if you subscribe, I will spare you the firepower of the schoolyard and operational YouTube channel. Oh, listen, lots of very smart people have spent lots of time writing lots of words about this very subject. But lots of links down in the description for you to check out and discuss. What do you think? What will space battles look like in the future? Will we even be fighting in space? And do any of your favorite books and movies get the physics right? Let me know down in the comments. Stay curious. Ah.
had said to Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, and the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance, and that they had gathered in the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came, and Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Morah, and Canaanite was in the land.
ungodly weather. And a prayer. Weather prayer. Weather prayer, sir? Yeah, let's see if we can't get God working with us in this thing. It'll take a pretty thick rug for that kind of praying. Yeah, because it's flying carpet. I don't know how this is going to be received, General. Praying for good weather so we can kill our fellow man. Well, I can assure you, sir, because of my intimate relations with the Almighty, if you write a good prayer, we'll have good weather. I expect expect that prayer within an hour. Yes? Almighty and most merciful Father, we humbly beseech thee of thy great goodness to restrain this immoderate weather with which we've had to contend. Grant us fair weather for battle. Graciously hearken to us as soldiers who call upon thee, that armed with thy power, we may advance from victory to victory and crush the oppression and wickedness of our enemies and establish thy justice among men and nations. Amen.
Judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed he shall not break, a smoking flax he shall not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail nor discourage, till he hath set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law. Thus saith God the Lord, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit unto them that walk therein. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and I will hold thy hand, and keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind, to bring out the prisoners from prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house.
laser overheats. So we have to blow up the buildings. Missed one. So there's one. There's only one left. I missed it. So you got by mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenue without right. A man's heart devises his way, but the Lord directs his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king, his mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's, all the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness.
One scripture text chronicles says, so David gave to Ornan for the place 600 shekels of gold by weight. And another scripture says, so David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. How is this? David took from each tribe 50 shekels, and they made together the total 600. He took silver to the value of 50 shekels of gold. Rabbi Shamliah explains that 630 commandments were communicated to Moses, 365 negative according to the number of days of the year, 248 positive according to the number of members in the human body. Rav Hamna asked what was the scripture proof for this. He replied, Moses commanded us the law, which by Maitreya answers to 611. I am, and thou shalt have no other, which we heard from the Almighty himself, together make up 613.
So guys, Levy can take Viagra when they need it. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single pack. 5 fun physics phenomena. Number 1. Have a friend hold a cane out horizontally for you or another similar object. And putting your 2 index fingers together, try to place them underneath the center of mass. When they let go, you will find it doesn't normally work. But now try putting each index finger at opposite ends of the cane and then moving your index fingers in towards the middle. What you will find is that they always end up right under the center of mass of the cane. You can try starting off asymmetrically, and they will still end up under the center of mass. You can try going at different speeds, really slowly, or really fast. But you still end up perfectly under the center of mass. How does this work? Number 2, the phone flip. Have you ever tried to spin your phone? If If you do it in this direction, it's pretty easy. It stays nicely aligned. If you spin it along its short axis, you'll also find it spins very well. But if you try to flip your phone end over end like this, you can't do it cleanly. The phone will never flip simply end over end without also rotating in one of the other directions. Even when I make an almost perfect flip, instabilities grow until the phone rotates around another axis. Why can't... No, I still can't do it. Why is it so? Number 3. You've probably seen that if you rub a cup on your hair, you can make it electrically charged, and if you bring it close to a stream of water, you can actually cause that stream to deflect. Now, usually this is used in chemistry textbooks as a demonstration of the polar nature of water. Water is a molecule with a more positive side and a more negative side. And so what happens, so you're told, is that the water molecule flips around so the positive side of the water faces the negative side of the cup, and that is what attracts the water to the cup. But this is not the real explanation. If you have a uniform electric field, there's an equal force pulling the positive side towards it as there is pushing the negative side away from it. And so you can't actually do more than just turn the molecules. You would need a really, really strong gradient in your electric field to make this work at all. And it basically is just not going to happen from a cup. So why is the stream actually attracted to a charged cup? That is the question. Number 4. Take a piece of your favorite cereal and drop it into a bowl of water. Then, using a very strong magnet, try to pull the cereal around. Isn't that cool? So why is cereal magnetic? And finally 5, the tea bag rocket. Take a tea bag and cut off the sealed end very carefully. Now dump out the tea. Form the tea bag into a square column and balance it on the plate. Now light the top of the tea bag on fire. Try to light it evenly on all sides. Get ready for takeoff. 3, 2, 1. Ha! Yeah! That is the beauty of the tea bag rocket. So why did that happen? So how do all of these phenomena work? Let me know in the comments, or make a video explaining any or all of them. Or subscribe to the channel and I'll post the answers next week.
Love her, rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations, that ye may milk out, be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. They shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to rend his anger and fury, and his rebuke with flame of fire.
Our mission is better food for everybody. Today, your business must present professionally and beautifully. When you're ready to start a revolution, get a professional email from Google and a beautiful website from Squarespace. is better food for everybody. Today, your business must present professionally and
Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Salah. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous. For the Lord abhorreth the wicked through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. For as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
treats for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. In the early 2000s, news of the end of the oil age was everywhere. No more oil. Yet here we are a decade later, oil everywhere. We're never out of oil. So, which is it? Right now, the world produces a whopping 93 million barrels of oil every day. But more than 1 trillion barrels still sit in Earth's crust. We've already gotten most of our easy oil, but new technologies like horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing are giving us access to more and more of it. But considering the impact of fossil fuels on the climate and environment, we have to ask, when will we be done with oil? If the history of energy is any guide, how much oil we pump up to the surface and ultimately into the atmosphere depends a lot on what other energy options we have. In the 17th century, there were 820 million acres of virgin forest in the United States. But after a few centuries of burning wood for heat, energy, and cooking, that number had dwindled to just 138 million. At some point in the mid-1800s, we reached peak wood. Luckily, we had an alternative fuel that, at least at the time, promised to be environmentally friendly and save the forests. Coal. Likewise, in 1846, thanks to the popularity of whale oil and the smokeless lamp fuel, we reached peak whale. Whales are a decidedly non-renewable resource. Our love of lamp almost drove them extinct. I love lamp. But it wasn't simply dwindling supply and increasing demand that saved the cetaceans. It was the discovery of a new lamp fuel called kerosene, distilled from a black liquid that we recently learned how to pump out of the ground. Now, oil saving the whales seems like an odd idea. That's because the history of energy in America tends to be solving one problem by introducing another. We used to think that tool use was our defining human characteristic until we saw chimps do it. Then we claimed language as our own until we met a gorilla named Coco. But the ability to intentionally manipulate energy to do stuff seems to be a distinctly us thing. Although, there's those beavers. Anyway, how a society uses energy is one of its defining characteristics. Humans first harnessed thermal energy and then kinetic energy. But there was no easy way to convert one to the other until the steam engine. This ability to convert and control energy led to the Industrial Revolution, which was a pretty big deal. As a rule in history, as a society gets more advanced, it consumes more energy, and we're no different. The story of the 20th century is one of more energy for more people used for more things. But that's not the only trend. The past centuries have seen a general trend from wood to coal to oil to renewables. And today we get our energy from more sources than ever before. Renewable energy in particular has grown in the past 10 years. We're also getting more energy per unit of CO2 than ever before. We hear a lot about reducing carbon today, but we've been on that path for a long time. But even though more efficiency and less consumption means that we're using fewer fossil fuels over the past decade, total consumption has gone up faster. So emissions are still higher than they were 4 decades ago, and fossil fuels are still number one by a big margin. U.S. energy use matches the rest of the world pretty closely. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but it means that my problems are your problems are everyone's problems. Unfortunately, the Energy Information Administration projects that where we all get our energy won't change much over the next 2 decades. And, well, have you heard about this whole climate change thing? The history of energy transitions has been one of new energy sources taking the place of dirtier, scarcer ones. But considering that, with the exception of nuclear, all of our energy technologies date from the 19th century, inventing new energy sources is a thing of the past. But as CO2 levels continue to climb past 400 parts per million, waiting for peak oil might not be an option. For the first time in our history, we might have to invent a peak of our own. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series about energy by clicking above or...
For the zeal of thine house has eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. When I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach. I made sackcloth also my garment, and I became a proverb to them. They that sit in the gate speak against me, and I was the song of the drunkards. But as for me, my prayer is unto thee, O Lord, in an acceptable time, O God. In the multitude of thy mercy, hear me in the truth of thy salvation. Deliver me out of the mire. Let me not sink. Let me be delivered from them that hate me, and out of the deep waters. cast down in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was wrought of our God. Moreover, in those days the nobles of Judah sent many letters unto Tobiah, and the letters of Tobiah came unto them. For there were many in Judah sworn unto him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Ara, and his son Johanan had taken the daughter of Meshullam, the son of Berechiah. Also they reported his good deeds before me, and uttered my words unto him. And Tobiah sent letters to put me in fear. Now it came to pass when the wall was built, and I was set up the doors, and I had set up the doors, and the porters and the singers and the Levites were appointed, that I gave my brother Hananiah, the ruler of the palace, charge over Jerusalem, for he was a faithful man and feared God above many. And I said unto them, let not the gates of Jerusalem be opened.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to I'll do one more.
And thereof shalt not be blessed. Say thou not, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? It is a snare to the man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry. A wise king scattereth the wicked, and brings the wheel over them. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy.
Okay, I'm going to get some chips. I'll be back in 15 to 30 minutes or something.